Yes. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Cyber Safety Net Stay Safe Online, episode 121. Why are annual requirements not official? And yes, I'm talking today about HIPAA, which is the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act. It's a federal set of regulations that Congress has been clarifying and strengthening for the past few decades. Also, some states have their own HIPAA implementations, and that would include California. So if you're in California and you handle medical information, and you are subject to both federal and state HIPAA regulations. HIPAA, uh, I do annual assessments for HIPAA. And when I was learning HIPAA, I learned that from public websites, the mandate to do them annually was kind of ambiguous. But from private sector websites, they were concise. They said you have to do them annually. And that's what I'm talking about today. Why is it that public sector, from the folks that wrote HIPAA, the mandates are kind of ambiguous, but private sector, they're concrete. You have to do the assessments annually. In HIPAA, there are two types of entities. There are covered entities and there are business associates. The covered entities are the ones that handle your medical information. This would include your medical record number. This would include your digital images. This would include your chart of meds. And here we typically find hospitals and insurance companies and small offices. These are the HIPAA covered entities. They do not do all the work in-house. In fact, they farm out a lot of work. They may farm out the bookkeeping. They may farm out the claims processing. They may find out the network support to computer guys like me. And we are business associates. So we are not the covered entities because covered entities handle your information and they're the primary handler. Then they do business with business associates, including computer guys, insurance companies, and bookkeepers who do the billing. Today's presentation is sponsored by my fourth book, How Hacks Happen. In How Hacks Happen, there are two personas. There's me, Mark, the good guy who wants to protect you. There's Brad Cracker, the bad guy who wants to rip you off. Brad Cracker says he's good at hacking, hacking's easy, and he likes the easy money. Now let's go back to the primary question of why the public sector websites are ambiguous about the timelines with your HIPAA risk assessments, whereas private sector websites are more concise. They say you have to do the risk assessments annually. And aren't you happy that I found a picture of a guy in a suit with boxing gloves? Yes. The answer to the question about the timelines is because there are ambitious lawyers out there. The ambitious lawyers are looking for somebody to sue. And let's stop sharing the screen for a minute. I have a client, and they dispatch social workers to households where there are some issues. There's domestic abuse, there's drug abuse, or there's a single parent who just can't handle the entire burden of running a household and keeping a career going strong. So this organization sends out social workers. They have an annual mandate to update a page on their website, basically documenting the calls, but anonymized, of course, documenting the calls that the social workers do. They have a deadline of 365 days, but 1 year, they missed it by 2 days. They needed 367 days. And you know what happened? They got sued. That's right. There was an ambitious lawyer who noticed that they did not meet the 365-day deadline. Instead, they needed 367 days, and he sued them. Yeah, it really happened. I asked a person who works for the state of California why the public sector deadlines are kind of ambiguous, but private sector are more concrete. And she said, it's because of what you already know, Mark. There are lawyers who want to sue an entity like the state of California when they don't meet a deadline. That's why public sector websites, including those from the people who wrote HIPAA, are kind of ambiguous with the deadlines. But in the private sector, there are people like me who want to solve self-assessments who are saying, yes, you have to do them annually. Pretty scary, huh? We have ambiguity because we don't want lawyers suing public entities that enforce HIPAA and some other regulations. I know your time is valuable. I know there are other places you could have been, but you chose to be here. You chose to listen to me, Mark Anthony Germanos, explain why some regulations are intentionally ambiguous. And for that, I thank you.